Thank you very much, especially for this invitation, which I look forward to every year. This is my fourth time to be with you, and my third time to say a few words. Very Reverend Abbot and all Reverend clergy, I greet you and for the friars and sisters of the Atonement at Graymore, but I also greet you in the name of Cardinal Dolan, who has sent me this little book, from which I'd like to read a few words for the new year and what the new Holy Father, Pope Francis, has to say about a very important subject. And I'd also like to bring the greetings of the Peekskill Area Pastoral Association, which is known also as PAPA. Has nothing to do with the Pope. And they have an interfaith program down there as well. And the rabbi has asked me to take on position as chair of the Committee for Hunger, Homelessness, and it's this committee that I'm working on especially that has drawn my attention to what Pope Francis has to say. I know there was a big run for the hungry that the Buddhist Association had in November, which was very successful. And the whole idea was to feed the poor and the hungry. So we do have things that are very, very much in common between all our religious organizations that come together every once in a while. And at this particular time, I would just like to read a few of the words of what Pope Francis has to say about this subject of hunger. He said, many popes have spoken of human ecology as being closely connected with environmental ecology. We are living in a time of crisis. We see it in the environment, but above all, we see it in men and women. The human person is in danger. This much is certain. The human person is in danger today. Hence the urgent need for human ecology. The peril is grave because the cause of the problem is not superficial, but deeply rooted. It is not merely a question of economics, but of ethics and anthropology. The Catholic Church has frequently stressed this, and many are saying, yes, it is right, it is true. But the system continues unchanged, since what dominates are the dynamics of an economy and a finance that are lacking in ethics. It is no longer man who commands, but money, cash commands. And God our Father gave us the task of protecting the earth, not for money, but for ourselves, for men and women. We have this task together. Nevertheless, men and women, are sacrificed as idols to this profit and consumption. It is the culture of waste, he calls it. If a computer breaks down, it is tragedy. But poverty, the needs and dramas of so many people end up being considered normal. If on a winter's night here on Via Octaviano in Rome, for example, someone dies, that is not news. If there are children in so many parts of the world who have nothing to eat, that is not news. It seems normal. It cannot be so. And yet these things enter into normality, that some homeless people should freeze to death on the street. This doesn't make news. On the contrary, when the stock market drops 10 points in some cities, it constitutes a tragedy. Someone who dies is not news, but lowering the income by 10 points is a tragedy. In this way, people are thrown aside as if they were trash. These are the words that Pope Francis has been saying consistently, and it strikes in the hearts of all of us. Let us do something about that this year. Thank you very much.
Thanks to Father John Ken, and then let me do a real brief on the translation. 这个神父呢，他非常高兴，他每年都能来。那么他今年是第4年了，但是呢，他今天所带来的是教宗方济教宗他所说的一段话。那么希望呢，在我们这个世界现在人伦或者是人道主义低落，那么我们现在所面对的很多呢，不是经济，而是人道主义。希望我们大家一起能在今年2014年他也特别提到美国佛教会，我们菩提比丘，还有我们的这个僧众里面呢，非常提倡救助这些饥饿与流浪的无家可归的人。那么他特别提出来，也希望在2014年我们在这一个方面能有更多的努力，更多的这个进展。好，谢谢。接下来呢，我们